We ready.
Good to go.
What's up, cronies? Cat Burglar here, episode 8. We all been waiting for this all summer long. NFL is back. We had college football week 1, and we've had week 0, and we've given out picks. But we're here finally, guys, to the first week of the NFL season. Starts Thursday. There's a Friday game, and then obviously quite a few. I hear you, Hitman. Quite a few Sunday games, and obviously a Monday night game as well. So we're gonna get right into the recap of how we did. I personally did very poor. The rest of the gang did fairly well. Caden, do you want to give the recap on what we did for week 1 in college football?
Yep. All right. So week one, Sal went 2-0. He had Clemson versus Georgia. Georgia minus 13 and a half. That easily covered. Georgia looks like the best team in college football right now. And then he also got Fresno plus 21 and a half against, his own Michigan. That was a W. Burt also had the same bet as Sal with the Georgia minus 13 and a half versus Clemson. And then he also had another W, Tennessee minus 13 and a half against Chattanooga. That easily covered. I went 1-1. Colorado fucked the dog in the last 2 minutes. I was covering. Their defense is just god awful. So I lost that, but I took a W barely. I took Akron plus 50 against OSU. The first half of that game, it was 17-3. I'm like, oh, this is lightweight. Turned off the game. Looked at the last 2 minutes. I only ended up winning by 4 points. Cat Burglar, just atrocious. Where do we
Thank you.
begin? One of his like 32 picks.
You don't
UCLA
have to go
minus
into every one of
14
my picks. I went two
against.
and five. My
Okay.
highlight obviously was USC winning plus the 4.5. They won outright, but I had a couple close games that just didn't turn out for me. But that's gambling. Two
Close
and
doesn't
five
cut
week,
it.
lots of time left to get on the right side of the money here, and I'm planning on doing that this week, guys. Obviously, NFL week 1, college football week 2. I'm gonna hit you, Sal, right away. Who you
Well,
liking
there
this
was
week?
one bet that wasn't accounted for Bert that actually hit. Okay. So with Camp Randall having alcohol served, he thought the rest were going to be over 141. He hit that. It was around 161. So congrats to Bert. I'm not going to put that to your record, but
Very nice. That's a prop pick.
Nice
Yeah,
job, Hitman.
yeah.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Katie.
of course.
All right, Sal. What do you? Let's get into the picks. What are you liking this week?
All right. I actually have two NFL picks this week for you cronies out there. The first one I have is Friday night Brazil, Green Bay at Philly. I like Philly minus 2.5. I'm a Packer fan, but I'm really worried about this kicking game. I think it might come down to a kick, and I have no faith in this Packer kicker that I've never seen or really, frankly, ever heard of. So I think if it's going to be a close game, which I do think it will be, that kicking game could come back and bite him in the ass. So my first pick is Philly minus 2.5. My second pick is on Sunday. It is New England at Cincinnati. I like Cincinnati by 8.5. I mentioned it when we did the AFC East preview a few weeks back. I think New England might be having the number one pick in the draft this year. I think they're really bad. They traded one of their best defensive players away like a week ago. Cincinnati, I don't know if Chase is going to play. I don't really think it matters this week. I think they have more than enough firepower to roll New England. They win by double digits easy.
Thanks, Sal.
Yeah.
Hitman, what are you thinking this week?
All right, man. Well, first of all, I just want to tell the cronies thanks for the fan mail. Keep it coming. I appreciate it. The marriage proposals are a little weird, but keep the stuff coming. Got some more winners for you this week. My first college pick for this week, I'm taking Michigan plus 7.5 at the Big House against Texas. My main reason for that Michigan 41-3 in their last 44 games. They've won 16 games in a row, and they've won 23 straight at home. So I don't know if Michigan wins, but I definitely like them getting 7.5 points. I also like Tennessee minus 7.5 over NC State. It's at NC State, but I think Tennessee is too much for NC State. I'm going with the Volunteers. For NFL, I also liked Cincinnati Pats by 8.5, but I'm going to give you two more different. I'll give you a different pick anyway because I don't want to give you the same one Sal took. So I got the Saints -4 at New Orleans versus the Panthers. I think the Saints are a good team this year, and I don't think the Panthers improved that much. So, and they're playing at New Orleans. And then I also like the Bills getting 6.5 points. They're playing at Buffalo. They're playing the Cardinals. I just don't think I think the Cards are good. They got some good players. They improved, but it's going to take a little while for them to get that chemistry. So I'm taking the Bills. Bills are giving up 6.5 points, so -6.5 Bills. Those are my picks. Bank it for the Hitman. You're welcome.
Caden, what are you thinking for week 2 college football and week 1 NFL?
All right, I only got one college football pick.
Okay.
Nebraska -6.5 versus Colorado. Reason behind this is Colorado offensively is a fire unit. However, those wide receivers aren't going to be able to get open like they did last week. They just aren't. If it weren't for those huge plays, Colorado would have lost last week. Their defense just atrocious. Nebraska seems to be better this year offensively. Now, granted, it's only one game, but I love that pick. Then I got 4 NFL picks. My favorite, now the line has moved since I did this, but I'm going to cheat the system because that's what I do. I have the 49ers -3.5 against the Jets. 49ers today re-signed Williams, probably the best offensive guard in the NFL. Also signed Ayuk. And the Jets, I mean, they got Rodgers back, but Rodgers is 40. Who really knows with the Jets? On paper, they look great, but they have no chemistry. 49ers, on the other half, have a ton of chemistry, and they already were fucking good. So I love that. Friday night, I love the Eagles -3 against the Packers. Kind of my reasoning behind that is everyone's counting the Eagles out because they lost, Fletcher Cox, they lost Kelsey, but that Eagles team is going to be fucking good. And then my third NFL pick is Texans -3 versus the Colts. I don't understand this line. Maybe for a reason, Vegas never loses. However, Texans are really good. They add a lot of pieces. And I don't know, the Colts still fucking suck. Then my last pick of recent was the Dolphins -3.5 versus the Jaguars. Did the Jaguars just all of a sudden get fucking good? I have no fucking clue, but I know Miami can put up points. So that's my 5 picks.
All right. Well, I'm going to go into my picks. I'm going to start out with college football first. I like Northern Illinois +29 against Notre Dame. Northern Illinois has a lot of seniors. They beat Boston College last year at Boston College. They've had experience playing some pretty solid teams. Obviously on the road. Obviously going into Notre Dame is going to be a tough challenge, but I like getting 29 points in that game. It started at 30, went down. I seen some 28, some 28.5, but I got it at 29. Gonna go a little bit against Bert here on the NC State Tennessee game. I got 8.5. I've seen some 7.5, but I got 8.5 on NC State. I just think NC State played like crap last week. I like the overreaction to what Tennessee did. So that's where I'm leaning on that one. And again, I'm against Bird on this one, or Hitman. Texas -7. The reason why I think that is that line stinks. There's no way the national champion should be and I hit on this to Sal today in text, but there's no way the national champion should be minus or +7 at home. Just like the Hitman said, they haven't lost there forever, but the fact that they put out the line at 4.5 and it's been pushed all the way up to 7, that tells me like really sharp money came in on that right away. I think it'll be bet back before the game, especially at 7.5. But I like that. Michigan only had 280 yards of total offense against Fresno last week. That game was much closer. It was 16-10. Michigan scores. They go down the field. They throw about at the 15-yard line. They throw a pick six. I think Michigan's going to be a really, really good defensive team, but I think it's going to take them 2 or 3 weeks really to get up to speed on offense. So I'm leaning with, Texas -7 on that. My NFL picks, I got my lock and load of the week is Philly money line -137. I'm not fooling around with the line just because to pay the $27 juice, it's not worth it in my opinion. So I like that pick. I also have Pats Bengals under 41. The Pats didn't really show me a lot in the preseason, and I don't think their offense is very good. They might only score 7 points this week. I think that game's like 24-7 Bengals or something like that, but I think it goes under the total. I also have one prop for you, Josh Jacobs, over 2.5 catches. So those are my 3 NFL picks. I just think Jacobs is good out of the backfield. I can see Love checking it down a few times, getting to that point. I think he gets 3 or 4 catches in this game. But that Philly game, it seems like we're almost all on it. I don't think Hitman, you weren't on the Philly game, were you? Okay. So, but obviously me, Sal, and Caden were. I just think it's going to be very interesting because Philadelphia was the number 1 team last year versus cover 1. That's what Halfley plays, cover 1. So we'll see how that game goes, but I'm obviously very interested to see what Green Bay does. And then lastly, kind of what Sal hit on, I'm a little bit nervous about the field goal kicker. If it does come down to a close game and this guy starts missing a little bit, LaFleur's been saying in the media over the last few weeks that he doesn't have a lot of confidence in the kicking game. Does he totally go away from that when they could kick like a 44-yard field goal and now they got to go for it instead of even kicking? I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't become a problem and they're making more of it than what it is. Obviously, I'd love to see Green Bay win this first one. It's obviously a marquee game, but that's where I sit with the picks.
This will be his first regular season game, so.
Oh, really? He's never kicked before?
No.
Great.
I think in the preseason, but I think this is his first game.
Yeah. That makes me a little bit nervous.
Yeah, definitely. No, so I agree with you guys what you're saying and stuff, but you know me, man, I'm a homer when it comes to Green Bay. Don't touch it because
hey, I think we're all hoping we lose that one.
Absolutely.
Right? That's one that I'd love to lose. Obviously, we're all Packer fans here, but
smart money, but yep.
And to hit on one other point, I think Sal said it. Green Bay's notorious for starting a little bit slow, too. And then I don't think LaFleur has lost one game in December in his whole career.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting, to see how it plays out. But it should be a good week of NFL, man. I'm excited. Sundays are fast. Yeah. So, but. Guys, I hope to get back on track this week, man. 2-5 was not good. Obviously, you guys carried me this week. Yeah, it was. It was ouch. Yeah, I could barely stomach it. And the text messages. Brutal. But long season, going to go through some of these weeks where, you hit a 1-6 or you hit a 2-4 or 2-8. You just got to kind of bounce back and then understand the randomness of it, too. And, too, the more you get to look at these teams, whether it's college football or NFL, you get a better feel for them, too. Which teams are garbage. Obviously, they adjust the spreads, but you kind of know. So, anyways, guys, BS Bettors, episode number 8. We out of here. Deuces.
I said it all week. Pocket full of cheese, count my cheddar.
Later.